Blessings, family. Sister Ajali. This is shocking. And it's breaking. As of just yesterday, Florida lawmakers passed bill allowing radioactive material to be built into Florida roads. I had known that when Trump was in office, he tried to get approved the use of a product called phosphogypsum, which is the waste from the pulverizing phosphate rocks that they use in construction. Phosphate rocks, okay, phosphogypsum, radioactive. And thus, the Florida lawmakers, now Trump's attempt was thrown out because I guess enough people were complaining. But they've got so many heavily distracted at this point that I wonder how many are going to complain, because they got all these friggin' demons looking like heroes simply over the highly fabricated psyop of trans surgicals who are mentally challenged people of epic proportions that this devil society is taking advantage of, because it is no greater distraction than Satan. Whatever Satan would approve of, and Aleister Crowley would second it, that's going to draw our attentions because it's so despicable. It's so reprehensible. It just has an automatic, like you would see a rattler in the middle of the road, and hopefully you're not close nearby it to get bitten, but still you're going to just look at a car crash. You're going to rubberneck on the road. Hopefully you're not in that either. You're still going to be pulled in like a electron magnet. And just like with Germany, with the Weimar Republic, making Hitler looked like he was a real nice guy, just what they needed, it winds up making just out and out racists seem as if they're the only rescue coming. That's all calculated. So in the meantime, with all the distractions, we're not paying attention to this crap. With this story, which really needs to be breaking everywhere, on top of the fact that we have been, according to the World Health Organization, deliberately made ignorant and fearful about the reality of radiation. And that's what they stated in a 1958 report. They want to leave the public in ignorance and uncertainty, okay with being uncertain. Because of all of that, a story like this, even if we weren't being distracted by a million psyops and all kinds of malarkey and agents all over the daggone place, this might not gain our attention when the public, just the general public, are going to be the ones driving on these roads. Now, one of the problems with phosphogypsum is that it contains uranium and thorium and their daughter isotopes, radium, because that's what they wind up decaying into. And radium, just go look up the radium girls and you understand they were just dying. And those they attribute to having died from radium, in reality, is far larger a number than they put out. Oh, and it's got polonium in there too, just, for extra seasoning. And isn't polonium an extra friendly killer here? Swiss scientists say they found evidence that Palestinian leader Yasser Arafat might have been poisoned with polonium. The deadly radioactive element first hit the headlines when it was used to kill KGB agent turned Kremlin critic Alexander Litvinenko in London in 2006. It says, how dangerous is it? Very. If ingested, It is lethal in extremely small doses. A minuscule amount of the silver powder is sufficient to kill. British radiation experts say once polonium-210 enters the bloodstream, its deadly effects are nearly impossible to stop. Imagine you're driving over a road that's got some of that stuff on up in it, and it just crumbles away under the pressure of all those wheels rolling over it, and you breathe some in. What, are they going to put an announcement up, a sign? Oh, this is a radioactive road, by the way. No, it ain't going to say a damn thing. They know that you don't need large quantities of radiation to enter your body in order for just one atom to be deadly, guaranteed deadly. They have something. I'm just horrified. The more I read, the more I'm like, oh my God, how did they ever get away with this? They have a proven latency for just when we're all expected to get cancer. Now, what I've also found is there are remedies and methods aplenty to get it out. You don't have to go buy my book. You could do the over 10 years of research that I've done and put in that book, and so that you can find all the remedies, because eating healthy ain't enough. I'm sorry, it ain't enough. Now, my goal is to build up capital so I can open up a lab. That is not something impossible. Goodness gracious, before I even read this meme. A good while back on the channel that I opened because they terminated all the other ones, and it surely wasn't over Elizabeth, trust that. It was over the radiation and all the details that I was documenting for Black Us. Who are the targets? We're the targets, okay? I did this going over just how friggin', oh my goodness, these people are liars. First off, yeah, they're shipping all that crap in when Fukushima has been proven just as radioactive today, 12 years later, as it was when Fukushima first popped off. And they're shipping all that food on into our plates. But I was also showcasing the Mother's Radiation Lab, where these are housewives who never operated technical equipment in their lives. And they started a radiation lab because they wanted to know what's in their food. And they showed that there's high levels of radiation in many different products. Now, if they're shipping the same food that these women were scared to death of, enough so I don't know how they got this lab, but they surely did. And I don't even think we have to wonder how they got it, because we got all it takes to assist me in getting this level of equipment. So trust and believe, this will be a game changer, okay? Because I'm going to tell the entire world what's in our food. So going back to this evil beast, Oppenheimer, the dangers of low-level radiation from ingested fission products were known to the federal government even before the first atom bomb was built. The Making of the Atomic Bomb, written by Richard, I spelled Richard incorrectly, Richard Rose, relates how Enrico Fermi suggested to Robert Oppenheimer in 1943 that the German food supply could be poisoned with radioactive fission products should building a fission bomb prove impossible. Now, any real human being would have said, "Are you crazy?" They would have said that with the building of the atomic bomb in the first place. But no, these dudes went and studied which one's the most deadly if we send it through food. So acting on Fermi's suggestion, Oppenheimer and Edward Teller identified strontium-90 as the isotope that appears to have the most promise because it concentrates dangerously and irretrievably in human bones. According to Rhodes, Oppenheimer decided not to attempt such a plan unless we can poison food sufficient to kill 500,000 men. I've read that quote in several books, okay? So here's the ticket about the ways that you take in radiation. This is a 1930s, late 30s, early 40s military diagram showcasing they know damn well that when you either eat or breathe in radiation, you're in damn trouble. And so let's stop calling Florida the Sunshine State, as this bill has passed. Let's call it the radioactive road states. And I don't believe that phosphogypsum glows. I just thought this would be a more accurate depiction right here. But it does contain radium, and that made those poor women whose bones were eaten into just a poor mimic of Swiss cheese, where literally their bones were disintegrating right in their jaws, their legs. They just were a pile of mush. And that was how they also identified that they had been contaminated by the radium, was that glow. It left traces on undeveloped photographic film. And that was how they discovered that they had, because they were told, the radium dial painters were told to lick the brush, and that, oh no, it's just a little, it's not enough to harm you. And they even had health drinks, Radiator, that were bought by the truckloads, the gallons filled. And there was one, nobody gave a damn about those radium girls until one rich guy just dropped dead right on the Long Island Railroad because he had been drinking so much of that Radiator. So I just want you to know, they're not going to warn us. They're going to just slowly, I think with this is just for profit, because phosphogypsum, they've got mountains of this stuff from breaking up phosphate rocks, and it's considered not nuclear, but radioactive waste. And so they don't know what to do with it. They're giving this stuff away. And Florida is actually known for maintaining its roads so well. But I bet you that comes at quite the price that they don't want to pay anymore. Everybody, cash is real tight. Right? I'm not saying it. It's still there. It's still, I see the Doobie hair salons are all still open, and in several other places. So you could definitely go buy my soap, especially since our lives depend on getting our food tested. But I just want to warn you, they're not going to have any signs up to let you know that even breathing this stuff, as these roads inevitably go through wear and tear, because if they can't afford to have real road building materials in these suckers anymore, and they're going to put this crap in there, you're going to be breathing that stuff in. And so I don't know when they're going to do this, but that's, you got to do the research and keep up with the ways that this devil is doing all the things that he's doing. In the meantime, I'm going to be here, man, in the front line when it comes to the radiation and what they plan on doing it. But the best thing for us is just to prove that it's in our food. I'm not saying it isn't. It is in our food. But we need that breakdown so we could also do human spectrograms and show the ways to get it out, and to also make certain we don't take in any more at all than we already have. Oh my goodness, I've done so many of these. I don't know what to say except support me, family. I need your help. I can't do this without you. I love you. Straight, black, family, pride. And we are out of this hell. Peace and blessings.